Hallmarkies. We are here to talk about the most anticipated season of your favorite family show and ours, Chesapeake Shores. Woo! If you're listening on audio, I have here Anne.
Hey, y'all.
And I have here Kari.
Hi, everybody.
And we are going to be basically, this is like what our preview show. We're gonna kind of take a little trip down memory lane. We're gonna talk about the characters. We're gonna refresh your memories. At least Anne and Kari are gonna refresh your memories.
Oh gosh,
my memory is shot.
I'm happy to. I'm happy to.
Kari seems to be fresher for her, so we'll let her take that.
Yeah.
Yes. So here we are, Chesapeake Shores season 5. We did not have a season or anything last year. And honestly, I'm sure it worked out for the four female actors on the show because they all had babies last year.
Baby fever.
Yeah, because I know Megan Ory had a baby, Amelia Ullerup had a baby, Lacey J. Maley had a baby, and Jessica Sipos also had a baby.
Yeah, and literally they all had babies.
That is fantastic.
Crazy,
I'm so glad that worked out for them then, to have that year, to have it off, focus on their family, and then come back and give us what we want in a season 5.
Yeah. There you go. Boom. All right. So y'all, let's just talk about, I have questions for you guys. Let's get to know your Chesapeake Shore-ness over here. Who would you say is your favorite character?
And you go first.
Oh, I don't know. You should go first. I was expecting this question.
Well, I'll say one. I'm not sure if she's my favorite, but I think she's very good in this series. And that is Barbara Niven's Megan. Megan is super intriguing to me as a mom, as an actress. I love her, but just the way that she plays this mom who has such a complicated history within her own family. I think she does this really well. And honestly, I listened to Casey's interview with Barbara Niven last summer. And if you are listening Hallmarkies, go and find this interview if you didn't hear it. She talks a little bit about Megan and like what went into this character for her and how intrigued she was about this character when she read it, and how this redemption she needs to find even within her own family that she kind of abandoned for good reasons. And ever since I heard your interview with her, Kaycee, I just have loved her character because it was so thoughtful. She's really reserved. I mean, Nell really is the matriarch of that family, the grandmother and the mother. And Megan has to come in and kind of find a place for herself again here. And it's more as a peer between her adult children. And that's so intriguing to me for some reason. I think she plays it really well. She has motherly moments, but she also has like friend moments with them. And she's insecure. She's a little unsure of where she stands a lot of the time, but she's strong. And I love that about her. So she's a great character on this show.
Mm-hmm. Man, you stole mine.
Yeah.
I love her. I think she's great. I think she's beautiful. I think she does such a great job. So she's my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's hard for me to pick a favorite because I'm not like super into this show, but I think out of everybody, I think I would pick Jess. I don't know. I just like her. I like her personality. I like how she's kind of like anxious sometimes and just like says crazy stuff. And and how she's kind of unsure of herself and she's kind of going after this dream, and her sisters and people are trying to encourage her in that, and she's still like pressing on and trying to do it. And Jess and David, at least in the last couple seasons, have been my favorite couple on this show. I think that Lacey does do a good job, and I would love to see her like in a movie for Hallmark. And they haven't. Well, they put her as, was she like somebody's sister or something one time?
I don't think
I
I've
f-
ever seen her in a
I
Hallmark
feel
movie.
like she might have
I
been.
have seen
Which
her in a
one?
Hallmark. It's called this. It's this little movie called Signed, Sealed, Delivered, the pilot
Oh,
movie.
Signs Will Deliver.
Maybe that's what I've seen her, because I have seen that, and maybe
Mhm.
I saw her and I knew it was a smaller part, and I knew that, you know, she's obviously on the show, but I like Jess. I think she's a good
Yeah.
character. I think she's
Mhm.
fun. I think she, you know, maybe I can relate to her in some way, so that's why I
Yeah.
kind of like her. But yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
That's funny because that would be probably my next favorite character. And I think one thing which is interesting about Megan and Jess, and for me seeing it from an outsider, obviously, it's interesting because they're so polar opposite and they've had so
Mhm.
much strife
Mhm.
and there's so much
Mm.
tension between those two
Yeah.
characters,
Mhm.
and they both grow in
Yeah.
different ways.
Yeah.
And so
Mhm.
I find their growth very interesting.
Yeah.
For Megan, I find her growth interesting just as a mom,
Mhm.
and just watching her and her struggles as, you know, a mom to these children, and their in the history with Mick and all of that stuff. And then with Jess, I find it interesting because her character used to drive me nuts in season 1,
Yeah.
but she's like one of those lovable ones that you're just like, I want to wring your neck, but I also like want to give you a big old hug at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could definitely see that.
Yeah.
Well, she's the baby of the family, and that's what I appreciate about all these characters, and I think why it's hard to choose a favorite, because certain seasons come and go where you're like, oh, I really like Kevin. Like one season I remember being like, Kevin is awesome. He's solid. He keeps the family together.
Mhm.
He's soft. He's sensitive to everyone's needs. He wants to help. He wants to heal. But then one time he annoyed me, you know, like, but then there was someone else in the ensemble to come in and fill my favorite role. But as a
Mhm.
family drama, I love everything that the family brings together and all the different, like, the roles that they all play within their own family, right? Like
Mhm.
Abby being the oldest, type A, put together, business, super smart. Who's next? Kevin is next,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Yep.
Oldest boy, but he's so sensitive, and he played a really unique role in his whole family when it was falling apart. Then who? Brie.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Brie feels like totally understood, not understood. She's not like Abby. She's not like her dad. She's a lot more like her mom probably than she even wants to be.
Yeah.
Artistic. And then you have Connor, who wants to be the king of the castle, and he just is so annoying sometimes, but you're like,
Yes.
I love him. I love Connor and how crazy he can be and wild. And there was a time when they were eating ice cream together and he chose like Blue Moon or something. Like he had this big blue garish ice cream cone. I was like, you're 28 years old. Like, what are you doing? But then there's Jess, the baby of the family. I just love what they all bring to the table.
Mhm.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I love that they are all flawed characters. And I
Yeah.
think that's what makes this series, you know, I think that's what works for the series. Is like
Mhm.
you don't have this perfect little family with perfect individuals with their perfect little romances and lives and
Yeah.
jobs and blah blah blah
Yeah.
blah blah. It makes them really relatable. And
Yeah.
I think when we do get frustrated at them, I think that's a good thing, because then it shows that, you know, there's growth, and, you know, we can relate to some of these things, or we can
Mhm.
empathize with different circumstances that happen in the O'Brien family. So I think
Mhm.
that's important.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah. I
my
mean,
next, oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say this family is like one big happy uh-oh to me. Like, uh-oh, what's going on? Like, what's going next? Like, they are crazy.
I feel like that should be a quote pulled out and put in a little Instagram thing.
Yeah.
Chesapeake Shores, the family that makes us go, uh-oh.
Yeah.
That's the quote. That's it.
Yeah. So my next question. Um, I want to know, who do you guys relate to most out of the O'Briens?
Mm.
And I'm an oldest of two kids. I have a younger brother.
Mhm.
And then, Anne, you have a younger brother.
Yep.
Mhm.
Kari, you have sisters.
I have sisters. There's 4 of us girls, and I
Wow.
am tied for second. I'm a twin.
That's right. I
Oh,
always
that's
forget I'm a
right.
twin. Oh my gosh. And it's always like something I feel like you have to know about somebody, and I always forget.
I know.
Man.
Yeah, so it's a big family, but we're all girls. We don't. So the brothers intrigue me in this show. But yeah, I'm second and third.
Okay.
Okay.
So who would we relate to? You mean?
Yeah, personality wise, somebody that you kind of see characteristics of yourself in that character, or you can blend characters because, you know.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And who would you say?
It's hard. I'm trying to think. I feel like I'm really different than all of them.
Ooh, tell us that.
Well, I'm not creative like Brie. I am not a career-oriented person, or I don't have children like Abby. I'm not the youngest like Jess. But I don't know. I feel like I relate to something about her, but I'm trying to think about what exactly it is.
Yeah.
I don't know. She's kind of just like, well, no, I don't know. I can't even tell you what it is. But
maybe more like I feel like you would be a mix between like Abby and Kevin, because Kevin is super laid back and you're also like pretty laid back. You kind of like, you take care of all of us, the Hallmarkies behind the scenes.
But you have a way of like, you know, like you have a way to do things in the world and a way that you think things should be done, right? Like,
yeah, that's definitely true.
Yeah, so that's like an Abby
Yeah.
trait. Like, there's a way things should be done, and we need to do the right thing, no matter what we feel. We need to do the right thing, and Abby's like that.
Yeah, very orderly.
Well, look at you guys. You just diagnosed me yourself. So now that's what it is, you guys. They told you, because I can't even figure it out.
That's good.
Which Chesapeake character, are you? Well, these two ladies know, I guess, for me.
Yeah.
But I like that combination. That's a complementary combination, because Kevin definitely, has good qualities. And of course, Abby does. So
yeah.
I like that.
They're two strong people, but they need community, right? They need the others in their lives. They can't go it alone.
Yeah.
So you're very much like that, I think.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, I think I hate to say it, but I do think I'm a mix of Brie and Connor.
Really?
Yeah. Because Brie's creative and I'm creative. I'm
more definitely
more
creative.
Yeah,
you're
very creative side than anything. Connor is he's just kind of a goofball, and that's his shield, I think. He is strong. He has deep opinions and deep standards, but he's also going to be he's going to show you his goofball side and maybe be underestimated a little bit. I don't know. So I kind of feel like a little bit of a combination of them, and if they're like the third and fourth in the family, so I don't know, it kind of plays to my position in my own family.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Kaycee, what about you?
I was gonna say, yeah.
Oh yes, about me. I know I'm very much an Abby, definitely. I think you have to sprinkle a little bit of Brie and the writing in there and the writer's block, because I really just connected with her in earlier seasons when she was going through that.
Yeah.
And then a little hint of Connor and his just like anger.
Anger.
Because remember, he would get so angry and he would just fly off. And I'm like, I just want to punch you right now, but I also know what it's like to feel such betrayal and want justice for people. Especially like, when you've been badly hurt. Like he was obviously hurt by his mother, somebody he deeply trusted when he was younger. And I can see myself being the same way, being a little more aggressive. Yeah. But then also like taking it back a little bit like Brie, because Brie was very passive aggressive and like, so I would say mostly Abby if you had a pie chart. And then you just sprinkle a little Brie and sprinkle a little Connor in there.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes I think if you want to find out who you're most like, you've got to think about not who you admire, but who you're annoyed by. Honestly, which is sad to say.
It's usually the stuff about you that annoys you about other people, honestly. Yeah. Honestly, TV, real life, wherever you are.
That is
up, you'll see yourself.
Yeah.
Human nature 101 right there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We'd like to take a second from this episode of the podcast to celebrate our sponsor of this episode, and that is the Hallmarkies Patreon.
Do you love Hallmarkies podcast?
Do you want an inside scoop into what happens on the podcast?
Do you want early access to episodes and loads of cool perks?
Now is the time to become a patron of Hallmarkies podcast.
By becoming a patron, you get to access our patron Facebook group.
You can request episodes or even be a guest on the podcast.
And most importantly, any patron can join our monthly movie watch-alongs with stars like Paul Campbell, Natalie Hall, and more.
It's as low as $2 a month to join in and become a special part of the Hallmarkies family.
Please consider, and we will love you forever.
Go to patreon.com/Hallmarkies.
That's patreon.com/Hallmarkies.
So let's dive into season 5. Woo, it's exciting. We have a new showrunner this season, and it is Fief Sutton. Fief also did Darrow and Darrow, which is like a top favorite of mine. And so I'm very excited about the writing and to see how this season is going to play out, because I will be honest with y'all, the last couple of seasons weren't exactly my favorite. There were a lot of unanswered questions for me. I had a lot of just like, there was a lot of times I had to play my own imagination. Yeah. Because I would have questions about like, well, why did this person do this? And why did they think this? And why did they say this? And why wasn't this mentioned? And blah, 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 blah. So I was constantly like conjuring up, different ideas for the characters and like putting myself in that character. So for example, like Abby and the whole on again, off again with Trace. So many questions with that. But I'm like, okay, as a mom, how would I feel? How would, and I shouldn't have to do that for a TV show.
Yeah.
Like you should be able to just kind of watch it and let it like, play
wash over you.
Yeah.
There's definitely holes where you're like, okay, what's going on? Like, why is this person reacting like this? Yeah. What's the motivation behind this person doing this? Like, lots of holes. So I hope we get some of those holes we don't have holes this season. We don't want a holy season.
Yes.
We don't want a holy season.
No holy season. No. So hopefully they kind of, tie it up. And it's no fault to let me also just disclaim, that's no fault to the actors or the acting or anything like that. It was really within the script that I was having issues with. So just want to throw that out there. So I have the TV Insider article on season 5 up. So I was just gonna kind of run down through it. And we'll just kind of talk about what we hope for in these characters, what we're not looking forward to for these characters, maybe some apprehensions, because I have some.
Well, it was a good article, and I'm really glad they released this article actually when they did, because it gave us time to anticipate
Mhm.
in an exciting
Mhm.
way, like not in a dreadful way, like, oh, am I gonna have to watch the show? It was like I wanted to watch the show.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
Mhm. Yes.
excited with
It
the
did make me
directions.
more excited
Yes.
Exactly.
to hear about new direction and
Mhm.
Yes. I
Yes.
love that.
that.
So the first grouping we're going to talk about is Abby and all her people.
All her people.
All her people. So if you didn't know, Jesse Metcalf is leaving Chesapeake Shores.
Yeah.
How do we feel about this?
You know,
How do
I
we
have to
feel
tell
about
you,
Abby and Trace? How do we feel about Abby and Trace as a whole? It's been 4 years.
right?
We're going on year number 5. How's our feelings about this?
Well, I have to tell you, I know that Trace is leaving the show, but my daughter does not know. I'm leaving that for her to discover, and I wanted to break the news to her so many times, but I am like, I'm gonna let her like discover it. So I'll kind of see her reaction. But season 4 it did have plot holes, but honestly, I liked that they were in the same town but not together. I liked that she had this intriguing new guy, the 3rd grade teacher, Jay Ross. She felt freer to me, Abby, as a character. Trace was heartbroken, but handling things, I felt like, in a mature way, instead of trying to like have these emotional talks with her all the time. Like I liked that separation, and it made sense to me. Like, oh, he's leaving the show. I kind of was like, okay, oh, cool. Where's Abby going to go from here? You know, and it was like an exciting thing to me. I don't know. Bless his heart, though. I mean, and I'll say something again after you, but what's your initial thought?
I mean, so the only season that I actually liked Abby and Trace was season 1. It was fresh. They're falling in love. You know, everything was easy at that point.
Yeah.
Once we hit 2 through 4, it was just like, whoop, just a steady decline for me personally.
Yeah.
And it just felt so like, okay, we get it. Like, you know, you're not okay with his job. This is what he does. Like, I get it. It's not good for your family. It's not. I wouldn't want to be with somebody who did that. I get it, but it just felt so like we just kept talking about it, kept having the same conversations, the same problems. And I'm just like, okay, obviously you just can't be with this person if they want to do this, and you can't discourage them not to do it because you love them. So it's not going to work. So I'm glad that Trace is going to go live his musical dream away from Abby and do it. And that Abby can hopefully find somebody who lines up better with what she needs, what she wants, and with her family and everything.
Yeah.
So I'm very hopeful for that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Typically with Hallmark, we see the high school boyfriend second chance romance work out. We see it work out. It's wrapped up in a nice bow in a, hour and a half movie. But this one not only does it not work out, but it drags on.
It drags on. That's what, you literally could feel it, feel the dragging.
Yeah.
And that's what made it painful.
Yeah. Oh, at first I was like, Trace is like fighting everybody in his life. He's like causing problems. He's being rebellious. Like, what is he going on? He's really his own worst enemy. But then by season 4, honestly, or season 3, maybe, I was just so annoyed with everybody in his life who had like an opinion. Mm-hmm. I was like, everybody has an opinion on this poor guy's life. Like, someone just has to encourage him. He would make a decision and like somebody, whether it was Mick or that old country singer or Abby or his parents, somebody would have a problem with it. And I was like, poor guy.
No.
Yeah, that's true. Especially season.
Yeah, like he was kind of almost a punching bag in the last season. Which, I mean, I felt again, there's a lot of plot holes and I felt bad, but I feel the same way as you guys do. I liked Trace and Abby in season 1, even going into season 2, and then it just started kind of going downhill from there. If you've been with us for a bit, you know that I recapped, I believe it was season 3 with our friend Lisa at she used to be Girl Gone Hallmark. Now she's the All This Book, aka Lisa Fayco. And also Rachel, the queen of the Hallmarkies podcast. We recapped season 3, and I remember we would just go on about like Trace and Abby, and it was to the point where Lisa and I really liked Victor Webster's character better for Abby. We called him hashtag hot PTA dad.
He was so great.
And we even had like hashtag Team Dobby on there because we're like, I don't even remember his name, but like we you know, meshed them together for Dobby. I was just kind of over the whole Trace and Abby thing. So which, side note, I think in the books Trace and Abby do end up together. I believe they do.
I think that's right. Yeah.
And it's completely different circumstances and all of that. So if you are a hardcore Trace and Abby fan, go read the books. You'll probably like their relationship better in the books, even more than the TV show. So
now I did not fault her character for giving him a second chance, for kind of reliving her Chesapeake days as a teenager with her teenage love, her first love. Like, I really didn't fault her for getting back into that relationship. That first love is a powerful thing. And if you're in the same town, you're doing this again, but it's 10 years later, you know, that maybe more than 10 years later, I don't fault her for that.
Yeah.
But it went on a little long. And that's why I think I liked in season 4, I liked that he had maybe another interest. You know, it was professional at first, but he did kiss this Emma girl. And then I liked that she had another interest. I could see him on the show with going his separate direction, just not being with Abby, but he's not. So never mind.
Yeah, I like Jay. When they introduced Jay, I was like, and even Victor Webster's character. And so that's kind of bad when it's like the lead couple and everybody's like, as soon as somebody else is there, they're like, yeah, why don't you be with this person?
Right.
You know, but that's just how it was. It just felt like, okay, we need like somebody else. But I did like Victor Webster, whatever his name was. I did like him. And I really liked Jay in last season. So I'm glad he's coming back and that he will have a chance in this triangle we got.
You said the word. Triangle.
Everyone freak out.
I know. Let's wait before that though. Speaking of this article that you brought up, Kaycee, and like this triangle, you know, everything I'm seeing promo wise seems like a triangle between Abby and 2 people, but I heard maybe it was Brie's triangle. Is that?
I heard that Brie had a triangle too.
Yeah. Let's talk about triangles for a second. If you know me, which I'm sure you all do if you listen to, you know, the podcast, I am triggered by geometric shapes made of 3 lines that connected 3 points due to a certain show. As a yes, as a romance. I was like, okay, Chesapeake Shores, yay, no triangles. And then they are like, hey, we're bringing in a new character for Abby. And I'm like, but Jay.
Yeah.
Like, what? Like, and then the promos, you guys, they're fixing to throw me into some kind of something emotionally because
PTSD.
Yeah, I have a little bit of one calls the heart trauma from this triangle. So
I would think you're not as dedicated to Abby as you are to Elizabeth, though. So there's a possibility for you to maybe just observe the triangle.
I mean, yes, there is that because we only had Jay for a few episodes. And I was thinking about this earlier. I'm kind of like, did I like Jay for Abby because he wasn't Trace?
Maybe.
That could be it. So I'm really trying and hoping to go into this with like fresh eyes.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping that they show us that if it's not supposed to be Abby and Jay, that it is made very clear, like, oh, these two really are just not, they're not on the same page.
He could be a good kind of gateway guy to a new big
I mean,
love.
yeah.
Because he at least showed Jay, the character, at least showed Abby that it didn't have to be hard. You know, it doesn't have to be hard. Like with her,
Painstakingly hard. Yeah.
yeah. He was he was easy, he was juice boxy, he was, come and let's be about the kids together. Like he was easy.
Yeah, just
which is-
easy, fun. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just hope they let me down really easy. Now I feel like they could. I feel like I can release Jay to his juice boxes and a life without Abby, because we have who joining us this season?
Robert Buckley.
Robert Buckley.
I love him. I'm so excited.
Tell us why you're excited. I want to hear more.
For anybody who would like to, as Kari said, Rachel and I got to do an interview with Robert Buckley last Christmas before the Christmas house. So I got to actually speak to him, and he is just a very nice human being. And I am of the generation of One Tree Hill. So I have a special place in my heart for all of those people. And one of those people is Robert Buckley. And he just has so much charm and charisma. And he lights up the screen. He is just so, he does banter really well. And he just has this charm that's just so good. So I'm just so excited to see him, come to Chesapeake Shores. And, in the Christmas house, his dad is, played by Treat Williams. And so I'm sure Treat Williams and him seem to have gotten close from their social media interaction I've seen. So I don't know if Treat suggested him and was like, hey, we should bring Robert in because he's great. And he's played my son before and he'll be great on this show. Yeah. So maybe that played a part, which, they already have good chemistry. So it'd be interesting to see if, as a new love interest for Abby, how, him and Robert or, what's his name? What's his name in this show?
It's Evan.
Evan. How him and Evan will interact, with Abby and all that. So I'm excited.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that. I'm excited too. I think again, with this article that we keep it was just such a great article in the TV Guide. And it was all about Chesapeake Shores and all about the future, all about season 5. And they said something about bringing, laughter back to the set, which is really an interesting, kind of an intriguing quote. Like, ooh, was there no laughter on the set, or was it just that because they missed last season, or what? But it already seems like he brought like a freshness to the set.
Look at these cuties, okay? Like look at the pure joy, okay? Like that.
It just seems like they needed him. They needed freshness and new life and joy. So I'm excited to see how that translates on screen.
And you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, you're right, because Chesapeake Shores was like really serious.
It kind of really was.
If you think about it, all of the couples were very serious. You have Trace, a serious guy, with Abby, who's a serious girl. You have, what is Jessica Sipos' character? Is it Sarah? Sarah and Kevin, both again serious people. You have Brie, who could kind of be a little funny, but then she had, Simon, again, serious. The only real levity was kind of Jess and David.
Right. And I think that's why people love them so much, because they were kind of the like little light spot of
you knew their scenes were going to be good, right?
Yes.
It was going to be just kind of funny. Something wrong happened to the inn and they were going to weather it together. Like
exactly. So I'm reading the TV Insider, and it says here, spiritually, he's a golden retriever, Buckley says with the laugh. He's very curious, excitable guy. So I think that'll be good. I mean, my confidence is going up. It's good because I can see Abby needing somebody a little more fun than she is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We need that.
So we just need to let down Jay easy. Like,
Yes,
please just
we
do
do.
that for me.
Because I do
Personally.
like Jay. Yeah. Yeah.
And I feel like that's what this Jay character kind of brought to season 4. He brought like a sweetness and a levity to it, but no doubt Robert Buckley is going to come in and bring it like much more and be a better fit for Abby. I hope that that's how it's going to go. How could it not? He's on the promo. He's on the poster. Like,
he's on the website. Their 2 faces are so big on the website.
he's in. He's fine.
Absolutely. I mean, he's on TV Guide. I mean,
Yeah.
all there. So,
Yeah.
all right. So I'm glad we had this talk about Abby and her love square, because I was really sad about Jay, but now you've reminded me that, Robert Buckley, he's going to be a good one, guys. He's going to be a good one.
Good.
He is.
We have hope.
All right. Yes. So the next grouping I have here is Kevin and Sarah, the newlyweds. We don't know a whole lot about what's going to happen with them, except they're talking about expanding their family.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it says here that they are struggling to start their family. And I don't know what struggling means, if it means they're not on the same page. Like maybe one would like to start a family now, the other's like, I don't know about this. Or if they are trying to start their family and are having trouble.
Yeah.
We do see in one of the promos, Kevin has a talk with Mick and he says, do you think I'll be a good father? Which I feel like that's going to be a heart-wrenching moment right there.
Yeah.
Like for dad and son.
Yeah. A heart to heart. That'll probably be serious.
Yeah.
With the history and, everything they have going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I like them as a couple. I really think that they provided a lot of what we want, not levity, but steady moments of a good relationship for the most part. They liked each other. They made things work. They wanted to be together. They brought out good things in each other. They really are probably the best relationship right now in the O'Brien family, apart from Jess and David. But just that they are, they're older, they're a little more mature. I am afraid that if they drag on we can't get pregnant storyline, I'm not going to like that very much.
Yeah.
That's just hard and sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, from When Calls the Heart, I know that's a really frustrating thing, is like people want to see Rosemary and Lee have a baby. It's been like 5 years, still no baby, and everyone's like, so yeah, I'm with you on that. I feel like if you're going to do a storyline where for Hallmark, if you're going to do a storyline where infertility is a theme, give them a happy ending. Either, and that happy ending can be adoption of a child. That is, I mean, that's a story in itself. You have a child that comes from some kind of like a trauma, if it's an older child or whatever, and then you have these two parents who are thrown into the situation where they're insta parents, and there's a lot of stories that you can build from bringing an adoption into this family, and especially with the O'Briens. I mean, the O'Briens, they're a big loving family, and so how would they handle an adoption in their family? And I understand why sometimes shows don't bring on babies or a lot of babies, because they're hard to work with. They only have so many hours. You have to have multiples, twins, whatever. So that is kind of something that I am hoping for in season 5. If we're going to go down the family route and they're struggling to have a baby, like let's give them at least some kind of joy at the end of the season.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So the next group is the next triangle.
Yeah, okay.
Oh,
Everybody
so
take a deep breath.
it is
Yes.
Brie, played by Amelia Ullerup. And I'm just going to read this here. Playwright sister Brie returns from a successful London run and jumps into a creative writing position at the University of Maryland and perhaps a love triangle. The department head, Matthew Kevin Anderson, that's the actor, is her former high school nemesis, and a crush from her teen years gets a job at the Bridge Bar, and that crush is played by Stephen Hussar. So we all know Stephen Hussar. I'm gonna pull up Matthew Kevin Anderson. You will recognize his face. He was in a lot of the mysteries. He's in Aurora Tea Garden.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
I saw a picture of him and I was like, I've seen him in a bunch of, yeah.
Yes. He's also in Ruby Herring. He is one of the main side characters in The Gourmet Detective.
Yeah.
He played
Goodness.
Monroe, and he was in All of My Heart, the Wedding.
Was he in
He was
Over
in
the Moon in Love?
Yes, he was in Over the Moon in Love.
Okay. I think he was Wes's friend. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
My favorite movie that he's been in, the side character, is Flip That Romance. I loved Flip That Romance, and he has a fun side character romance with someone else, and he is good in that. Oh my gosh, that would be so fun to have him come in. He's a little older, if I remember right. Is he supposed to play like kind of an older guy for Brie, or no?
Well, they were high school nemesises.
No.
Oh, never mind.
So he probably shouldn't be.
Scratch that.
Well, I think because in the mysteries, he's always like, well, I mean, besides Gourmet Detective, he just kind of plays that character who you're kind of like, what's going on here? So maybe that's why, but
I like him. Okay, High School Nemesis. I'm all for High School Nemesis. I mean, I think that is so fun. That has potential to be really fun, those scenes.
Yes.
I as like a triangle, I really like that. Crush and like High School Nemesis. Like this is a solid triangle. Too good, interesting, you know.
Brie is so awkward. Brie is
she is. Oh my god.
Like these awkward like things with her face, and it's like, okay, you know, and then she like goes off.
I love Emily. She's
hilarious.
so good. Yeah.
She is so
She
good.
does that so well to like those mannerisms and like awkwardness. She's gonna nail that.
Yes. And Brie always finds herself in the middle of a triangle. Like, do you all remember with her ex-boyfriend and Simon in the same room? And then it's like, I mean, it wasn't a true triangle, but still, it was like.
She did that. That was her own making. She could not let Martin go and open her heart up to somebody else.
That's right. I remember. Yeah.
This would be nice if she's free and it just kind of happens organically. And I think that'll be fun.
Yeah, I think it can be fun. We have two solid guys. We have no expectations. So, I mean, I guess I'm here for another triangle.
Triangles all over Chesapeake Shores.
Oh, goodness.
Good.
Listen, all I ask is you have somebody in mind, you just make it very clear and you let the other person go gracefully. That's all I ask. It's not hard, y'all. It's not hard.
No, it's possible. I mean, Anne and I have been talking about Murder, She Baked and the Triangle on Murder, She Baked series, and it's possible to figure that out. And so just take a cue from Hannah Swenson and you will be fine.
Yeah, they did that. They wrote that a lot better.
Yes.
Or it wasn't like, I don't know. You didn't feel like, betrayed or like, it was like, okay, like we understand who she's going to choose. We understand they're both, neither one's the wrong guy and they both have something to offer, but she's also, so that was good.
It didn't feel unfair. It felt very much like real life, like this. Oh yeah, this should happen.
Yeah.
So does it give any indication about Connor's storyline? Because Connor is due for something substantial. Like, come on, give him someone else beside Danielle. I'm really glad he unloaded Danielle. I did not like that on it.
Oh my goodness. Yes. Okay. Yes. Connor's my next person here. I do have it up. According to TV Insider, lawyer sibling Connor, played by Andrew Francis, meanwhile begins work at a Baltimore firm and may get to play hero in his dad's brewing legal battle with crafty construction vendor Paul Dilfer, who claims Mick knowingly used inferior concrete in projects. So, I think we'll see more lawyer action from Connor. I remember seeing a female in some of the previews with Connor.
Yeah, I did see one.
Do you know who that's played by? Because I was trying to look it up.
It was kind of like a backside view, so I couldn't see a face or anything, so I'm not sure.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, I'm ready to find out who that is and if I'm gonna like them and prejudge the situation. Like I just need more information about Connor.
Yeah.
I think, to be honest, I do think he was the one out of everybody to come in and provide some levity, provide some funny moments, and kind of some silly business and stuff. And so because that's kind of been his history in the family, even though he's deeply angry, the times that he got serious one-on-one with a sibling or something were really tender, I thought. Really sweet. And
yes,
I don't know, I liked him.
Yeah. I just hope we get Connor outside of the law drama.
Yeah.
Because that's just one. Yeah, that's just one thing I know in past seasons. Like the drama is always the business. It's making the business, and that's a big storyline. And I'm kind of like, we can have that drama, but we can have that kind of playing through the background instead of being a main focus. That was another thing with Connor too. It's kind of like, okay, there's a lot of angst there with like the job and trying to figure where he's going, but like it was too much for me in past seasons. It was like, okay, we get it, being in debt up to your eyeballs and trying to find a job and pass the law, like the boards for to be an attorney, that's hard. And getting a job as a mid-20 something year old and trying to make it, like, yes, we can see that, but we also need a little bit more. We need something different for him. And then when they brought back Danielle, I was like,
no thanks. I mean, here's the thing though about this family, the O'Briens. They had at very tender ages their mom left, and for reasons that she describes, postpartum depression. She wasn't well, she had to go get healthy, and then when she was healthy, the kids were like, why didn't you come back? She's like, everything was different, and so now we actually have everybody in the same place in Chesapeake Shores, and they are all, I feel like living in a state of a little bit of arrested development where they are now trying to make up for lost time. So to me, I understand the back and forth between Connor, like, should I leave? Should I go? Should I stay here? Should I work for family? Because he's just so drawn to Chesapeake Shores and wanting to be there to try to have, like, to piece this family together. Like, you kind of just see this in every character. And so, yes, he's older and needing to find a job, and you just go find it wherever, because that's what you do when you get a career. But he has this underlying family situation that is really strong pull for everybody to stay close. And I don't know, it kind of made sense to me that he would work for the uncle, he'd work for the dad, he'd try to just hang out and be like, oh, what else can I find in Baltimore? Like, to me, that made sense. I don't know. It was a little drama and a little boring sometimes because it was all about work, but
yeah. And I mean, I totally get that. No, like I can relate, being about the same age or, a little older than Connor. And like, I have a friend who went through, getting her law degree and then all of that. It's just for a TV show, it was too much of the back and forth and like, it was too heavy on that, and I was like, let's give Connor some, like, I don't know.
Yeah. Something lighter.
Something lighter. Yeah.
This is Hallmark. Can we give him like a little, like, something lighter?
Like a festival
Yeah.
to plan or something, or like
Yeah.
Yeah. Something fun like that. Or maybe he gets into cahoots with Jess or one of his siblings. It just, I'm ready for Connor to have some humor come into his life. Yeah, kind of lighten him up. The last O'Brien sibling we have is the newest bride to be of Chesapeake Shores, Jess and her fiance David. They're planning their wedding, and it is a mid-season wedding.
Oh, nice.
According to this article. Yep.
Yeah.
So I have all the hope. I have all the hope for Jess and David's storylines. I mean, we all know, we talked about it earlier, they're the levity in the show. There's going to be cahoots with with his parents.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are going to be cahoots with her family because let's be real, when there's a wedding and a big family, there is a lot of opinions, a lot of discussions, a lot of drama.
Family emotions come up. It's just a lot. A wedding is a lot, especially in a big family like that. And this caption says, talks about Jess grinning and bearing it with her future in-laws when they visit. So
yes,
that's I'm sure gonna be fun. It'll be fun to see Jess grin and bear it.
Right.
Because she'll do that in a funny way. So
yeah.
They're at a good place, and I just hope that the storyline continues at a good place for them. And but doubt the wedding planning, doubt the type of dress and the flowers that you want, but don't give me the drama of doubting David. Like, he is so steady, he is so there with you, he's 100% in it. She better not do that.
When Hallmark does that, I really don't like it. So it really bothers me. So I really hope they don't do that, like you said.
Yes, absolutely, especially when it's in a series and it's gone on for a long time. It's like, all right, let's get them hitched, let's go. Let's get it done.
They're so happy together too, so that's good. I can't take one more scene with him going Jess and like following her off the screen. Like that's I'm done with that.
That was a good impression. I like that.
Great Carla Marks.
Yeah, Carla Marks.
All righty. So let's talk about the parents really quickly. Okay, so according to the TV Insider, although Noble Mick is devastated by the challenge to his reputation, Williams hasn't been this happy to go to work since the early seasons of his 2002 to 2006 family drama Everwood. He says he loves how instrumental the kids are in their father's life. The actor quotes lyrics from the Sinatra standard the second time around to describe Mick and ex-wife Megan growing closer.
I like it.
Uh-huh. And I mean, we did see a little spark.
Yeah,
we did.
Yeah. I actually loved that scene where, what was it? Sarah and Kevin around the big family table had said, they're already married. Everyone kind of dealt with the disappointment of that. And they said, what we would like to have, we would like to have a wedding reception here. And everyone was like, oh, yay. And Mick, he because he knows how invested Megan was in it, he kind of does something tender and sweet to her hair and her, her shoulder. And they look at each other and you see Connor and you see Jess and their faces are like, what is happening over there? That is a new development.
The alarm sounded. What's going on?
Physical
that contact was made in a comforting way.
that sibling group text blew up that night.
Oh,
I mean,
it totally blew up. That's what I would like to see again, by the way, is more ice cream, ice cream
Oh
moment.
yeah.
Yes.
The siblings,
Yeah.
it's adorable. I love those scenes. So
Yes.
I
They
do
gotta
like
have
this.
Yes. Absolutely. Anything else that you guys are looking forward to this season, or hopes and dreams for season 5 of Chesapeake Shores before we wrap up?
mhm. Yeah, I would love to hear Nell have an Irish accent again. I think that would
Yes.
be fantastic. She had such a strong Irish accent in season 1,
Mm.
and it kind of like she loses it a little bit.
It's like waivers.
It wavers. Sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not. No,
That's
I
funny.
think Nell is a great character. She has such great wisdom for the family
does.
and really sticks it out with every one of them. I think she's so great. So I joke
Mhm.
about the Irish accent, but I'm a little bit serious about it as well. I'd love to hear that come back. And I would like them, yeah, I would just like to see, Brie and Connor find true love. I really would. I think Abby will for sure. But I'm
Yeah.
excited to see where Brie and Connor go with their romances. If
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm interested to see where both those go too, because I'm pretty sure about Robert and Abby, or Evan and Abby. So I'm feel good in that department that we're gonna get hopefully some good stuff. But yeah, I would like to
Mhm.
see. I'm interested to see how Bree's triangle plays through with these, nemesis and crush. How those, how that works. I'm
Mhm.
intrigued.
Yeah.
One thing that is very weird is that we have 2 triangles coming to Chesapeake Shores, and we have 3 women with bangs. And I'm just like, what happened? Everyone's like, a bang is how you transport forward in time. Like, what is the deal with all the women having bangs? Like, what? I was looking at this promo. I'm like, okay, Barbara Niven now has bangs. Meg Ori has bangs, and then Nell has bangs, and it's all like the same type of bang. I'm like, did somebody come to set and was like, I'm the bang cutter, line up? It was just so weird. Like, it's all the same time.
it was a 3-for-1.
I guess it was. Emily Ullerup and what's her name? Lacey. I guess they put their foot down. They're like, we're not doing bangs. I'm sorry. Everybody else gotta get bangs.
That
So,
is funny. I noticed
I'll be paying attention to that the whole time. It's probably gonna drive me nuts, but
that's so funny. Okay, I did notice Abby with the bangs because in the promo she has the normal Abby hair, and then all of a sudden you see her with shorter hair and the bangs, and her long hair is when she's with Trace. And I don't know if this is like a worldwide thing, but like the joke of when you go through a bad breakup, you have to just women do something crazy with their hair.
Yes.
Like, yeah. So that was kind of like where my mind went.
The bangs.
It's like, but I did not notice it with Barbara Niven and Diane Ladd. But
yeah,
that's interesting.
yeah, if you watch the promo again, just look for them, and they all have the same type of bang.
Oh
So.
my goodness. I'm trying to look it up.
know.
I'm trying to find Nell's right now. But
Yeah.
I do like that you have to show some sort of like either time has passed or
Yeah, and hair is generally the way to do
Mhm.
that, because I think when she does have the Abby long hair, you could tell it looks like a wig kind of. So I think that's when they flash back. I think that's when they flash back to when she's with Trace and what's happening, because it does say it's a flashback to Trace, and then they want to show her later. And I think that's when she has the new bang do, is the new like the new Abby, who's whatever, making her trailblazing a new path.
I like it.
Confident Abby. So yeah,
She looks so different. She looks beautiful.
she does look very different. It's 2
Very
very different looks. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the girls her daughters are really grown up. It feels like
Yes.
anytime that I've seen them in a promo, like they're really grown up. So it'll be interesting if they have any sort of storyline at all.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's the older sister. She was in a Hallmark movie recently, and I was like,
She was.
Oh.
wow,
She's huge.
she's like a young lady now.
Yeah.
I love that. What about you, Kaycee? Any hopes and dreams for season 5? Anything you're especially looking forward to?
Oh man, I'm looking forward to a fresh start in Chesapeake Shores. I feel like there is new life that is breathed into the show, despite the multiple triangles. You all know how I feel about that. But I think I can live with it as long as, we let Jay down easy. And then, I'm good with whoever Brie picks because both actors are great. And I just hope that we have more levity in Chesapeake Shores this season. I hope we bring, a little more comedy to the show. And I also hope that we don't dig more holes, because I feel like in past seasons it was like there were just holes everywhere. Like I had so many questions. For example, Nell goes back to Ireland and she talks about her Dylan O'Malley, and you're like, never again. It's never talked about.
Yeah,
again.
Exactly. Yeah, just dropped. It just never hear about it.
Dropped out of nowhere. And then the other thing, Jess and her what the school and the PTSD, and like again dropped, like as though it never happened. And I was like, wait, what? And then Brie's book. Don't even get me started on Brie's book. If you want to hear me get started on Brie's book, you can listen to past
Chesapeake
recaps.
Chats.
Chesapeake Chats. Yes, I still have questions about Brie's book. Like, what exactly in it was so offensive? Like,
yeah, that was my questions too.
Family, so yeah, I am just hopeful that we have nice little arcs for everybody, and it just is continuous. So my hopes are more on the writing and the cohesiveness of this season, more so than the characters, because I've always loved the O'Briens as characters, and I've always said that the actors, like if it weren't for the actors, I would not be watching Chesapeake Shores, because they do such a great job in their roles as their characters. It's just I get frustrated with the storylines.
Same for me.
So fingers crossed for a really good season 5.
Yes,
I'm excited when we will be doing the reviews every like bi-monthly, right? So
bi-weekly.
We'll be talking about 2 episodes per podcast when the 3 of us get back on, and I'm excited to ride this roller coaster with you guys. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
I'm looking forward to it.
All righty. And Chesapeake Shores airs on the Hallmark Channel, premiering on Sunday, August 15th at 8/7 Central. So set your DVRs, live tweet with us. We will be there if we can. Use the hashtag Chessies. It'll be fun. Chesapeakes. That's fun.
Yeah, I think there's 10 episodes this time, so I think that's a critical set. So got more episodes.
So, lots of Chesapeake Shores to cover, and while you're waiting, go back and listen to all the interviews. We have the interview with Robert Buckley. We have an interview with Andrew Francis that Rachel did a couple years ago. We have 2 from Barbara Niven. I think we even have one from Stephen Huszar. Yes. And so go back and listen to that. And if you want to see just wild reactions to past seasons, you can also go look up Chesapeake Chats at the Hallmarkies podcast. So buckle up. We're in for a fun ride. And where can people find you on the interwebs, Anne?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at awscott21.
How about you, Kari?
I'm on Instagram at Hallmark Comics. That's Hallmark_comics.
And you can find me on Twitter at Hallmark My Words. Make sure that you follow the Hallmarkies podcast wherever we are on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Go check out our t-shirts, our merchandise. And they're not just t-shirts. You can get like a little Chessies mug or a notebook or a pillow. So go check out our merch store. Subscribe to us on YouTube, iTunes, wherever you are listening to us. Subscribe, leave us a rating and review, 5 stars, please. And we will be back. So until then, farewell.
Bye-bye.
Bye.